this story popped up in front of me, and the media was like so short and simple with it that I had to just kind of go down the rabbit hole because they're like, oh, this lady scammed all these people out of interior design. And I'm like, well, how'd that happen? I don't know. It's just, sure, anybody can pop up and just say I'm an interior designer and then do that kind of thing. But these are people that have a lot of money to give them when you're talking about 40K to do some stuff and beyond. And there's more to the story. They just don't add it in the story itself. It makes her seem like she just started up a company and ripped everybody off. And that's actually not what happened. It's going to tell you what a terrible businesswoman she is on her own. So they did this big piece like in Pittsburgh in 2018. So she was part of a design team. So she met up with this dude. They both went to school, got credentials and interior design and all that. I had interior design too, but I didn't go to college for it. So anyway, they meet up, right? And she becomes like his intern. And so those two started working together, this guy Stan. And so I saw his name attached to her and I was wondering, did he get arrested too? Oh, well, I guess what happened is they split ways at some point here, I believe in 2020. So I don't know. They split ways a little while ago. So then she, I guess, ran off with this company. So apparently, the rest of these people are totally fine. They're not part of this. And she starts running her thing. And they were legit. That was the thing about it. I was like, okay, so this is how people get scammed because they were legit. They did do all these designs. They were actually featured in a lot of stories and all these other things. So that gives legitimacy to these people. And then they have photos of their work and everything. And they did do those things. And then I guess they split ways and then something happened. Like it's something to do with her business end. Like she doesn't know how to run the business. Or I can't tell you exactly, but this is what they said about it. So she was the owner of the design company, which again, originally it was with this other guy, but they don't say anything about this in the story. That's what I'm saying. I go, well, how did this happen? Like you want to know the finer details of the story because how do you steal $500,000 from a tank of people, without showing some credential, like something? You have to have something kind of going on. And so this is a Pittsburgh interior designer is facing a string of charges after being accused of stealing nearly $500K from clients. Lauren Piasecki, 44, Morningside, is connected to at least 8 cases related to theft by unlawfully taking home improvement fraud, receiving stolen property, which is interesting, and deceptive business practices, which I don't know if they were, okay, so you have some questions, like, was it ran somewhat similar even prior to this? I don't know what the stolen property thing is, but maybe it was completely legit the whole time, or maybe when they started, they learned how to be a scammer, and then all those people got away with it, and then she's, like, going on with it. That's the questions in it. It's a little weird. I was like, how do you go from a successful business, or what, maybe it wasn't as successful as we're thinking just because of the presentation of the story, but then somebody parts ways. It's kind of like, why are they parting ways? Is it because her personality that she's just a socio and she just likes to rip people off and they just didn't at some point? I don't know. I don't know why they separated. The investigators said the stolen funds amounted to about $448K. She opened her business in Lawrence in 2017. Okay, but it included a bunch of other people, right? It doesn't say that though, because watch, Black Cherry Design. A few times out loud, it's fun, right? Lauren thought so. It rolls off the tongue a lot easier than her design partner Stan's Polish last names, and the Black Cherry tree is native to Pennsylvania. I thought it was a great name for a design company, but I thought it was a great name for a store, she says. And I think it's very memorable. Adam Mick agreed that, and in 2014, they launched Black Cherry Design in Lawrenceville. So it's a little contradictory in the story, right? Because it said 2017, but it says 2014 here. And they say, although the company was their first official business together, it wasn't their first collaboration. And so she, who has a Bachelor of Science in Interior Design and the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, his name's Stan Adamick, who earned his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in interior design from Georgia State University, had known each other for years, starting when he hired her during his years at West House Furniture and Design in Shady Side. Shady Side. That's funny. Okay, she was my intern, and that's how we became friends, he says. And they also had other things in common. Both lived for a time in Atlanta, both their parents. And he has a 2-year-old daughter, too. And of course, so they all have kids. This is a hot mess. Okay, the story is pretty bad. So they have photos of their work. I mean, I'm looking at it going, it's beautiful. I would hire him, right? And he did this big story and everything. And she's legit. Like at this moment in time, they seem legit. Unless they weren't legit here and nobody actually went after it. But it's like, I'm more like, wait, it says, when working with clients, they often play off each other's skill sets, right? Stan's like probably the most honest person and she's not. So Stan has a passion for line and scale pairing with beautiful fabrics while she brings a certain edginess to her design. I'm more like the foundations of design and she comes in and zhuzhes it up. He explains. It always helps to have a fresh set of eyes. When we bounce things off one another, it allows us to see things we may not have recognized or visualized. So basically, he sounds like the brains of the design itself, which is important because if that person leaves the company, the other person who's not really, that's not their forte, then maybe that's why it's looking like this. So I think both of us have a good push and pull of masculine and feminine. Neither of us is super masculine or feminine in our designs, but I think we both bring those elements to each design we do. When Black Cherry started, it also included an online store, which the duo phased out as they began to take more and more design work. Within 2 years, they outgrew the space they rented. And then near the end of May 2017, they opened their brick and mortar Black Cherry design. Okay, so that's where the news picks up, right? But they have a history here and they were actually doing a lot of work. So brick and mortar Black Cherry design and a retail store at the former Shining Light Prenatal Education Center along Butler Street. Although they carry a curated selection of pieces, including upholstery, lighting, rugs, and artwork, the space with its high ceilings and abundance of natural light mainly function as the duo's design space. And then they have a photo here of that. And it says, we get retail traffic, but this really helps to showcase us as designers, he said. And it's more of a showroom. So while do some corporate jobs or portfolio includes Southern Tier Brewing Company on the north side, their passion is residential design as far as style goes. He and her agree their focus is on deciphering what the clients like and building a beautiful room around it. So we do everything from very contemporary to very traditional. People say, what's your specialty? And it's just good design. Okay, so then they had a website and it doesn't really work anymore. So back to the story. I just wanted to do the breakdown of it because honest to God, if you didn't even go and just kind of read that stuff, it sounds like some crazy woman that just wanted to get money from people and never was actually a designer. That's what it comes off as, and it's like important to know that. Like, she was legitimate in public and they did have a legitimate business. But my question is, what the hell happened here? So I want the finer details of a story. So there is no understanding to it. Like, did she run off and start doing drugs? Like, what did she just mismanage everything on her own because she's a terrible business person? But I'm saying, like, you could tell from the story that the main brains of it was him making her his intern, and she's learning from him, and he obviously carried the business. And then when he left, this happened. Like, there was some portion where he leaves the company, founded in October 2014. So it definitely is 2014, guys. It moved to a new space on Penn Avenue, and this has become kind of like an art and design district for sure. And then it says when their lease was up nearing 2019, and after the departure of co-founder Stan. So he no longer is in the story at 2019. That's what I was trying to figure out, because I was like, he's not arrested. Like, what happened here? So Just for everybody to know. So this guy Stan left, and this is when problems started to happen. So who recently returned to the design team at West House and Shady Side, but the real shady side's over here. And she decided to go back to the company's roots and concentrate on design. And the previous location also included a retail space. Our studio business, like our design business, has always been sort of what we're known for. So we sort of decided, let's go back to studio only. So this is where problems are going. The new space also included a new partnership with Buffalo-based cabinet company, which will have its wares on display at the studio. And when we were making this transition, I was approached by a cabinet company in Buffalo who wanted to have a presence here in Pittsburgh. And I just looked at the space and it was kind of funny. It all happened in this 1 week. So along with carrying the company's cabinetry, Black Cherry will be collaborating with it on a customizable cabinet line. So maybe that just went straight to hell. We're going to do a range of price points, so very affordable up to higher end custom cabinets. Okay. So she plans to focus on kitchen and bath design, also in adding a kitchen showroom to the 14K square foot second floor space that will include 2 kitchen displays and 1 bath vanity. And she adds a studio, a one-stop shop. I think if you hire someone to design your kitchen, it's a natural fit that we have them design the rest of your home and help you select lighting, furniture, rugs, and all that kind of stuff, right? People know that investing money in their kitchens and bathrooms is an investment in their home. And a few other projects in the works include hardware lines, and she plans to open up a second Black Cherry location in Nashville in the spring. I just love it there. It's a great design city. Okay, so that's her. And what year was this? This was written in 2020, okay? 2020. So back to the news story. Okay. In October, okay, so they're talking about 2017 and all that stuff. In October, an Upper St. Clair woman filed a complaint against Miss Piasecki, whatever her name, for breaching a contract and misappropriating funds. That woman told investigators she paid a total of nearly $56K to Black Cherry Design, but received inventory equating to only $7,000, according to the complaint. I would have lost my mind. Like, I could see this happening to me, but I was just like, I can't. I mean, imagine these large numbers and all they come back with is like $7,000 of your money. I don't know. It's a lot of money to be messing with. Investigators said Ms. Piasecki charged other clients for interior design services, collected the funds, and then failed to deliver on the work. So in 2023, a client claimed he contracted the company to furnish his recently purchased home in Lawrenceville, paying a total of $45K. Part of the contract specified the company would purchase and deliver furniture on his behalf, but according to the complaint, failed to do so on multiple occasions. The same year, a couple claimed the company only delivered 4 out of 18 items invoiced for the design of their residence. Whew, yeah. Emails attached to the complaint show that she acknowledged the failure to deliver the items and promised to issue a refund by the end of May 2023. Okay, so at this point, she's knee deep. I don't know. She's neck deep. She's head deep. In some type of, like she owes a tank of money, right? That's what it sounds like. But I don't know what you kind of want to know what the reasons are. Because the reasons that they threw out here, it doesn't seem like, they're trying to make it seem like she just went splurging on herself. But I don't know if that's exactly what happened here. Because it's like, okay, I admit that I didn't pay it. I will send you the money then. But why? Like, what is the problem? Is it because the overhead, you owe so much money that you're allocating the money that you're getting from them, giving it to somebody else? Like, I want to know this stuff. Like, I think everybody should know this stuff. Like, what is going on? Are you starting to smoke crack and you're just, doing that? Like, what happened here? So, a deadline she didn't meet. Okay, so then she didn't pay him back. So now she don't have the money to pay him back. So she also denied the couple's request for receipts. So now she's being extra shady, leading them to believe she used their funds for personal gain, according to investigators. Yeah, so it's showing like, okay, so she was supposed to deliver the items. So it's supposed to show that she bought the items at least, or I don't know, like, where's the money? You know what I mean? Because they pay her to go do it. So she's supposed to get these items. She doesn't do that. And then she doesn't issue a refund. And then there's no proof of where the money went. Yeah. So then, PNC Bank records, a black cherry design, shows payments for hotels, turnpike tolls, Uber rides, Amazon purchases, and loan debt. So is it that at no time she bought any items at all for anybody? Is that what's going on here? Like, that's, I don't know. Like, they threw it out here like that. And I'm just like, well, we need an explanation because they were legit. And so what happened right here? Don't tell me that, oh my God. She's like doing this like design company, and then they're just like, I'm going to buy everything off of Amazon. Maybe the purchases off of Amazon were supposed to be for these house things. I have no idea. I mean, you could do that, I guess, in part. Like, that's not, that wouldn't have been my number one thing to do for somebody giving me 50K. You know what I mean? Is that I'm going to go get all of it on Amazon. I don't know. But loan debt. Okay, so loan debt would be definitely probably something that would screw you up. If she kept getting loans on things and she'd have money to keep things running, and then she's just knee deep in debt, you know what I mean? Just in the loan debt, and then taking that money, covering the loan debt first, because like the threat of whatever taken away something, maybe that's what happened. And then she chronically tells herself I'll get it somewhere else, and then never could. Because I say there's some sort of portion here where she admits to like not doing something. So it's like, yeah, I didn't do it, but nobody knows why. Like, she's not going to be honest with them saying, you know what, I owed a big bill to the bank and I basically just sent it to them. And I thought I could pull it somewhere else and I just couldn't. And then it just keeps getting worse, right? She keeps getting money from other people and then thinking she's going to get out of this. I'm thinking it's that, but I could be wrong. But anyway, that's kind of what happened. It's just a half-ass story. It doesn't really explain the pre-portion of this where they were legit, and then there was a separation between the main partner, and then at some point she's just mismanaging like really bad. And then, but she keeps doing it, right? But I guess it's just one of those things. If you keep owing money, the more you're trying to work to get it, and then it just made it this thing. Versus it's just some random lady that's like, I'm an interior designer, give me money. There is a difference. But just I wanted to do that one because it's different. It was, you know, because it's such a popular industry, you know, mostly with a lot of these rich people and stuff, and people are paying designers, and it's just a thing. It's just, it was a story I haven't really heard before, and we're talking about women in business as well. And this is just a shitty ass businesswoman. And the other guy's probably like, I didn't teach her to be like that. You know, he's like, I'm glad I got out of that right then, you know.